Hello, it's January 6th, 2025. My name is Patrick Schmidt. I'm the co-founder of FreeWill, and this is your free minute, really understanding what you need to know right now about charitable giving, the economy, tax policy, and more as we begin 2026. So first, we're starting out with a very encouraging economic picture. The U.S. economy enters 2026 on pretty strong footing, even with some massive shifts in foreign policy over the last few days. Growth in 2025 came in actually a lot stronger than people expected. GDP ran about a 4% annualized expansion in the second half of the year. That is really high. It was supported by resilient consumer spending and exports, which was pretty interesting. The labor market has cooled a little bit from its peak. Unemployment remains at historically low levels by long-term standards, around 4.5%. This is pretty consistent with wage growth and household stability. Importantly, inflation got a lot better than we expected. Back in April, the tariffs, we thought inflation was going to be really rough. And instead, we're starting to drift back down towards the Fed's target rate of 2%. And expectations for inflation in 2026 are lower than you would have thought would be 6 months ago. Overall, the economy is not overheating. We're not in sort of the end of 2021, but it seems to be a durable one, which is pretty good. And this really supports charitable giving. Financial markets are reinforcing this picture. So the S&P 500 finished 2025 up about 16.5%. This is the third consecutive year of double-digit returns. What does that mean? It means a lot of appreciated assets. It also means a lot of money in foundation endowments. So that's really good news for folks. This week, actually, the Dow Jones hit a new record high, and this reflects, again, sort of broad consumer confidence and economic stability. So really interesting to see there. As you all know, stock market performance is one of the key indicators for philanthropy, and most of you would have had a pretty strong end of year of 2025 based on this, especially if you were focused on things like asset-based giving, donor advised funds, major gifts, etc. Um, let's go to charitable giving. So 2025, again, pretty good signs. We saw the 2024 numbers come out, so not 25 yet, 24 numbers, about $592.5 billion, one of the strongest years on record. So thank you, Giving USA, for that research. Individuals still account for roughly two-thirds of all giving. And while there was a lot of obvious pressure from funding freezes from the government, the individual giving remained very, very strong. So what's changing as we head into 2026? Well, tax changes are creating some pretty new and interesting opportunities and some headwinds. So we have to pay a ton of attention to this because we're 6 days into the year and we're 6 days into a totally new giving regime. So first, there's a universal charitable deduction, which now allows non-itemizers to deduct cash gifts up to about $1,000 for individuals and $2,000 for couples. So your very small donors, 50, 100, $200, they'll get a big benefit. Remember, this isn't only to you. So this is for all of their giving. Now, itemizers face a 0.5% AGI floor, which means 0.5% of your total adjusted gross income. So there's going to be a lot more tax planning for mid and for high income households. High income donors also see the value of deductions capped at 35% at the federal level, not 37%. So we have to choose the right giving vehicle, not just the right amount. And things like giving stock or giving out of a donor advised fund can have really big bonus benefits that really overcome this new shift. One thing that is incredibly important to know, if you only remember one thing from this video, it's this. QCDs are gaining incredible momentum with older donors, and it is going to be an incredible year for qualified charitable distributions in 2026. I spend a lot of time reading things like accounting newsletters and financial advisor industry journals and such, because that's how cool I am. And when you read what these folks are being told to recommend to their clients, especially older ones, it's QCDs, QCDs, QCDs. Now, QCDs are one of the most powerful tools in this environment because donors age 70 and a half or older can give directly from an IRA to a charity without accounting as taxable income. The QCD limit in 2026 is $111,000, making it one of the most tax efficient ways for anyone giving less than that. Now, why is this important? Well, it bypasses the taxes. There's no minimum on when you can get tax benefits from QCD. And if you're in the 37% range, you get 37% worth of tax savings. Now, it's really interesting. And so we're going to see a big shift in 2026 towards QCDs. We've already seen a massive shift over the last 5 or 6 years, in part because there's more people who are 70 and a half than ever before. So really, really important. Last thing to note for 2026, planned giving is really taking center stage. So it's becoming really central to nonprofit sustainability. And this is because we're really entering this historic wealth transfer with trillions of dollars expected to move across generations. This is through wills, it's through trusts, it's through beneficiary designations. So it's not just wills anymore. It's really important to understand you're also doing beneficiary designations for things like IRAs, especially if you do QCDs. It's a really good beginning into that conversation. So that tends to be very, very important. Final takeaway 2026, cautiously optimistic. Strong markets, easing inflation, steady growth create real opportunity. But the tax changes mean we need to do a good job educating donors on how to give in this new world. So lead with education, emphasize tax smart giving, especially QCDs for older donors, but also things like stocks and DAFs. Invest in plan giving as a core strategy, not just an afterthought. Have fun. Have fun. There's a lot to learn this year. It's going to be a wild year. Some of you thought, hey, 2025, crazy year, 2026 is going to be normal. And we're, 6 days in and we've already sort of captured a foreign president. So probably not. This is going to be a wild year. Big midterm elections coming up in November. Lots of things happening, but we'll be here to help the whole way. And happy New Year from the whole team at FreeWill. Hope this was helpful. You can look forward to more free minutes as we unpack the year to come.